Hey there, I'm glad you're back. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. I got a story, one that is written by a man of war. You know evil do exist, and once you feel those deep in your spine, life is never easier for you. Your faith in God becomes stronger than ever. Afghanistan, August 4th, 2017. Location near Koh-e-Sabz mountain range. They call me Rain. I didn't pick that name. It was stitched onto me by the boys after Fallujah. Said I walked through fire like it was rain. Now it sticks better than my real name, which feels more like a ghost from back when I used to smile without checking corners. I command a 6-man unit, tasked Unit Ferox. Officially we're just a recon intel extraction detail, but off the record, we're the ones they drop when hell needs exorcising with lead and steel. Ferox is tight, ironclad. We've pulled off more surgical strikes than I care to count, from Mosul's alleys to the sand-buried corridors of Al-Qaim. Not a scratch on our rep, and we don't die easy. There's Doc, our medic and demolitions whisperer. Grew up in Detroit, fists like cinder blocks, always quoting Full Metal Jacket and fixing broken things like trauma doesn't exist. Tango, our comms guy. Wire-thin, twitchy fingers, hacker brain. He's got a tattoo of a QR code on his neck. Nobody's scanned it. I think it's a joke, maybe not. Roach, our breacher. Ex-gangbanger from the Bronx, built like a bank vault. Swears every time we blow a door, it's for redemption. Blitz, our youngest light machine gunner, always hyper, always grinning like he's on a game show. Says war's better than Zodi, 'cause you don't respawn. And then there's Ivy, our sniper. Cool as a winter sun, sharp cheekbones, deadlier eyes. Used to be a pageant queen before enlisting. Not kidding, she got tired of being underestimated and started punching holes in targets from 1,200 yards out. Taliban nicknamed her Shaytana Hawa, the Devil's Eve. She keeps the name like a trophy. The 6 of us were ghosts with dog tags. And I led them from the front. We were stationed near the southern approach of the Koh-e-Sabz mountain range, 20 miles east of Farah. A remote firebase, unnamed on most maps. Not much around but stone, grit, and war-stained silence. HQ flagged a sudden intel burst, high-value insurgents spotted moving in the shadows beyond the ridgeline, coordinates locked. We were tapped to move, secondary unit, support detail. Primary team, task unit Scythe. Call signs unknown, just a whisper that they were spooks turned ground pounders. Supposed to hit first. We were the broom, clearing up what they cracked open. No leaks, no names, no files. It was incognito enough to taste like Black Ops. 2 birds waited on the helipad, MH-47s, painted dull gray, tired from 1,000 miles of desert wind. The load-in was fast. I made eye contact with each of my team before we lifted. That unspoken check, "Are you ready to die for me tonight?" All nodded. Ivy held my stare half a second longer. I don't know what that meant. Inside the bird, the rumble filled the air like a slow heartbeat. Noisy, hot, beautiful. Blitz cracked open a ration bar and leaned in close. "So, Rain, tell us again how you ended up here instead of living your best Brad Pitt life in California?" I smirked. Simple. California had yoga. Army had rifles, mountains, and a paycheck for looking dangerous. Doc chuckled. "That's the dumbest American dream I ever heard." "Dumb gets the job done," I shrugged. And hey, back then, 23, lean, full head of hair, just wanted to be paid for holding an M4. I saw Black Hawk down at 16 and thought, damn, those dudes look good bleeding. Roach tapped his helmet. "You ever miss civilian life?" I leaned back against the hull. "Only when the coffee's weak." Tango interrupted, his voice like glass scratching over metal. "Ivy's the only one of us who had a GQ phase. Tell them, Ivy. Tell him about the Miss Nevada gig." Ivy didn't look up from her scope. She was cleaning it with careful circular movements. Once. Won it once. Didn't care. Didn't even like heels. "You wear lipstick in the field, though," Blitz teased. She looked up. It's not lipstick. It's blood. Yours if you talk again. Laughter rolled through the bird. Light, necessary. The kind that builds armor you can't see. Outside, night pressed down over the mountains. Not a star dared peek. Only the rotors screamed into the dark. The pilot's voice broke through comms. ETA 10 minutes. We'll be flying low and fast. Thermals showing terrain gets rough ahead. I looked at the navigation screen, an ugly squiggle of ridges and shadows. Koh-e-Sabz wasn't friendly. They said locals avoided it, called it cursed. Old tribal nonsense about spirits in the stone. I'd seen worse. Nothing can be ever more evil than fathers selling their daughters at an early age or pennies. Stupid terrorists and their liberation dreams. Still, something about the name Sabz sat wrong in my mouth. Like it didn't want to be spoken. Roach tapped my shoulder. You see the coordinates? Yeah, I said, narrowing my eyes. 34.4332 degrees north, 62.1578 degrees east, elevation 4,600 feet. That's where we drop. Ivy locked her bolt into place and exhaled like she was releasing a secret. The mission had no name. That's how you knew it mattered. Blitz ripped open another bar, peanut butter and regret. Tastes like depression in an MRE wrapper. You think seals eat better? Seals drink kale smoothies and cry into protein shakes. Doc deadpanned, checking the straps on his medpack. Bet they miss our fine cuisine. Bro, we're rangers. Blitz leaned back, dramatic. We're supposed to be the best of the blunt tools. Grunts with swagger. Not constipated nutritionists. Speak for yourself, Roach grinned. I shit like clockwork. Tango was typing on a little tablet, probably hijacking local signals again. You guys joke, but Ensei's been eating up my scripts. Some MIT punk's gonna win a medal for code I wrote on a bunk with a busted Wi-Fi router. Still bitter about the crypto app? I asked. They renamed it Falcon Trace. My name was better, Killswitch. Too aggressive for app stores, Ivy chimed in, her voice the kind that could cut glass or lull you to sleep. But sounds like your dating profile. Roach cracked up. Oh shit, Ivy brought the heat. She always brings it, Blitz said, nudging her boot with his. I still remember that wedding in Mosul. Wasn't that the night you made that British sergeant cry after a dance? He asked if my sniper kill confirmed meant I was too masculine. So I told him I preferred dead men over soft ones. God damn, Doc muttered. You left him emotionally scalped. Ivy smirked. He wasn't even cute. The whole bird shook with laughter. The kind you only get when people have shared silence, blood, and the kind of trust that keeps you alive under fire. I looked at them all, my crew. Not just war fighters. Family I didn't get to pick but would die for anyway. I remember my first deployment. I started softer now. I was 21. Told my pops I wanted to serve, and he just stared at me. Said I was too damn pretty to die young. Tango squinted. You were pretty? Model pretty, Ivy added without looking up, tone neutral but teasing. Back before the beard and that scar above your brow. Scar gives him character, Doc said. Real Tom Hardy vibes. More like Mel Gibson in The Patriot, Roach said. Violent dad energy. Blitz nodded, serious. You do have that vibe. Like, payback for my son style rage. I rolled my eyes. This is why I don't share feelings with you people. No, this is good, Ivy said. Keep peeling back layers. Tell us about your high school crush too. I swear to God. Bet she was blonde and played volleyball, Blitz grinned. She was brunette, I muttered. And I think she's a vegan now. Everyone laughed again. It echoed around the inside of the chopper like the last good moment we'd have for a while. The bird dipped sudden. The pilot's voice came in low and sharp. Terrain ahead. 2 minutes out. Touchdown will be rough. Winds are shifting, hold tight. I straightened up. Ivy snapped her rifle case shut. You feel that? Roach asked, glancing at the NAV screen. I didn't answer. I did feel it. That strange pull in the gut. Like something was watching us from below the clouds. I was damn sure my brain was playing tricks on me, or was it a bad warning? Countless missions, but today there was a bad intuition. Blitz looked out the porthole. That's Koh-e-Sabz? Yep, I said. Green Mountain. Nothing green about it. Why do they call it that? Tango asked, adjusting his headset. Old Pashto stories, Doc murmured. Locals say the rock drinks blood. That after battlefields dry up, the stones bloom. Everyone went quiet for a beat. Ivy glanced at me. Bloodstone fairy tales, I said. Let's make sure it's not ours. The pilot announced, landing in 30 seconds. Coordinates confirmed, 34.4332 degrees north, 62.1578 degrees east. Altitude, 4,600 feet. As we descended into the ghost mouth of Koh-e-Sabz, the laughter faded. Helmets clicked. Rifles checked. Smiles tucked away. The second team, call sign Reaper 2, landed first. Dust spiraled off their Chinook as it peeled away, fading into the mountain haze. I heard their boots hit the gravel over comms, followed by the sharp clicks of weapon checks and the grind of gear belts tightening. Reaper 1, this is Reaper 2. We are boots down. Moving to initial position on foot. Over. I tapped my throat mic, solid copy, Reaper 2. Keep chatter tight and eyes wider. We're lifting off in 60. Hold until we slot in over. Roger that. Don't keep us waiting, cowboy. That was Captain Jared, Cowboy, Haynes, leader of Reaper 2. Delta Force. Known for running missions hotter than a pressure cooker in Fallujah. We'd done joint ops before. I didn't trust many, but I'd share a trench with that man in a heartbeat. My team and I were in Chinook 2, still midair, hugging the peaks like ghosts. Roach was checking the TAC-3 38 bolt-action rifle with its suppressor while Ivy reassembled her M110 semi-automatic sniper system. Tango had his signals intelligence pack ready, custom-rigged, carrying a SATCOM intercept array and a Harris PRC-152 tuned for overlapping frets. I had my HK-416, short barrel, painted matte tan with custom grip tape and a holographic sight. Secondary, Glock 19 in a thigh rig. I carried 2 C4 bricks, wires taped, and a remote detonation pack linked to a pressure-triggered backup. Doc had the IFAKs, morphine pens, and a Garmin Fortrex 701 GPS strapped to his wrist. Blitz, he hauled the extra gear like a happy mule, M249 saw, barrel heat-shielded, optics aligned, and a belt of death draped across his chest like a parade sash. We hit dirt 5 clicks south of Reaper 2's LZ. The wind snapped hard, stinging our faces with grit. Koh-e-Sabz loomed ahead, jagged and hollow. It didn't feel like rock. It felt like bone. All right, I said, adjusting my pack. Form staggered column. We move low and slow. Roach, take point. Heavy eyes up high. Tango, you're my comms. Let's make this mountain forget we were ever here. We moved under moonlight and shadowless stars, up a ravine cut like a throat. The rock had strange veins, black streaks twisting through the granite like something bled into the stone and never left. Still, tension always cracks under the right kind of pressure. You ever notice how these missions always start quiet? Blitz whispered. Like horror movies, Roach said. First half's just scenic shots and people pretending they aren't about to die. Doc chuckled. If this was a horror flick, I'm the medic. You know what that means. You're dying second, Ivy whispered. Right after Blitz. Why me? Blitz hissed. You're the comic relief. You never make it past Act 1. I grinned. Ivy survives to the end. She's the final girl. Doc's the tragic death. Tango becomes a ghost. What about you? Roach asked. I don't die, I said flatly. I just disappear. We crested a ridge. Tango caught a signal from Reaper 2. Reaper Punt, this is Reaper 2. We've reached coordinates. No movement, smells getting thick here, like rot and ammonia. You picking that up? I sniffed, frowning. We pressed forward, 2 more bends, a rocky switchback, and then I hit it. The smell, got him. It wasn't the normal rot. This was chemical, like something decomposing inside a fuel drum. Sweet and sour and wrong. I keyed my mic. Reaper 2, this is Cowboy. Yeah, we're hitting it now too. North side of the slope. What are you seeing? Hold one. I crouched as I spoke, crawling hand over hand up a steep lip of rock. Ivy and Roach flanked me. The air grew thinner, smell thicker. Then I saw it. Dead carcasses. Mountain goats, marker, by the twisted horns. Also Uriel sheep, even a damn snow leopard, half-gutted and collapsed under a rock shelf. All of them had a definite kill mark, deeply cut sliced by some claws, in 3 parallel patterns, cut almost a feet deep. What the fuck? Blitz muttered, crouching beside one. This thing's been stripped. Not eaten in the usual way. No chew marks, just peeled. Muscles pulled out like threads. Roach pointed with his muzzle. Another 2 up there. That's 8, maybe 10 total. Tango sniffed the air. Something's been feeding or collecting. Taliban doing a fur trade now? Ivy said, deadpan. Maybe it's their new war economy, Roach replied. Sell pelts, buy ammo. Blitz poked one with his barrel. I thought these guys ate rice and goat stew. This here looks like someone opened a petting zoo and forgot to feed it. Maybe it's predators, Doc said. Pack of hyenas? In this altitude? I shook my head. No teeth marks. And no blood trails. They were brought here. I keyed the mic again. Reaper 2, be advised, we've got multiple dead fauna over here. Looks like something's been storing carcasses. Static, then Cowboy's voice came through. Yeah, same here, we spotted a cave system. So, there's something big in there, I think. No guards, just dead meat. Copy that, hold position. We're 1 click out. Waiting on engagement cue. Understood, but heads up, our EOD found fresh tracks. Not boots, barefoot, heavy, wide. That made everyone pause. Barefoot? Ivy asked. Could be a local, Doc offered weakly. Carrying an ox on his back? Roach muttered. I took a knee and scanned the mountain. Koh-e-Sabz wasn't haunted in the poetic way. It was wrong in the literal sense. Like something had been planted under the stone and now it was swelling, pressing upward, bleeding through cracks. We advanced another 100 yards, approaching the lip where we'd hunker down. The slope bent sharply, and beyond it was the blind spot, the one the brass said would give us sight lines into the valley entrance of the hideout once Reaper 2 breached. We found rocks to post behind. Ivy set up her bipod. Roach watched the approach. Tango opened his rig and extended the signal booster. Doc took a knee, scanning for motion. Blitz placed his saw and muttered a small prayer. I took out the C4 bricks and started rigging the line behind a ridge in case we had to blow our exit. Wires tight, linked to the remote charge. The LEDs blinked, green. Good to go. Then the comms buzzed again. Reaper 2 to Cowboy. We're entering breach phase. Found 2 entrances, one blocked by debris. Others open, smell stronger here. I think we've got a cave den. Solid copy. Eyes on from this side. Call shots before you go hot. Will do. Reaper 2 out. I looked at my team. Ivy was calm. Roach had his rifle half raised. Blitz was chewing a gum pellet like it owed him money. We waited, silence stretched out. Then a voice. Cowboy again, quieter now. Cowboy to Reaper. We're inside. Reaper 2 to Cowboy. We've got movement. Looks like the tip of a small cell. 5, maybe 6 tangos, armed. K's rusty RPG tube. We're moving to engage. Break radio silence only if needed. Solid copy, I said. Stay sharp. My team stayed tucked in behind the ridge. Ivy dialed in her scope, her finger resting just above the trigger. Tango scanned the airwaves with one ear open for any intercept chatter. Doc checked the mag in his E and rubbed the side of his neck, a twitch he always had before a gunfight broke loose. Roach whispered, "Taliban out here makes no damn sense. What would they be doing up this high? They hate altitude." "They hate fighting at night too," Blitz added. "This is suicide." "They're not here for a tactical reason," Ivy muttered. "They're guarding something." Then the comms lit up like a damn 4th of July flare. Muffled gunfire erupted in the distance, maybe half a click away, echoing off the rock walls like distant thunder trapped in a tin drum. "Contact!" Cowboy barked over comms. "Engaging hostiles, west side cave entrance." They're dug in but sloppy, no flank discipline, dropping bodies. Another burst of gunfire. Then someone from Reaper, 2 shouted, loud and laughing, that one tried to run with no shoes. Lit him up like a Christmas goat. We grinned despite ourselves. Roach leaned into his scope. "I can see flashes. They're in full swing." I keyed in, "Reaper 2, status?" Cowboy's voice returned, breathless but grinning. "Reaper 1, it's a fucking turkey shoot. These morons couldn't hold a paintball match. We've cleared 3, another 2 ran into the rocks. Marksman just dropped 1. No injuries on our side." Another voice in the background, "Tell Cowboy I want a trophy, man. Taking one of these AKs back with me." Doc shook his head. "These guys sound like they're on a hunting trip." Then Ivy froze. Not her face, her whole frame. "Hold up," she said. "Shut up for a second." We went still. No gunfire now, no wind. Then we heard it, a howl. Long, guttural, too deep for any normal wolf. It started steady, then broke near the end, cracked like a human voice choking on its own breath. It rolled across the valley like oil through water, slow, creeping, unnatural. No one said a damn word for a full 10 seconds. Then Roach whispered, "Tell me that wasn't just a coyote with asthma." "Ivy, you there?" I asked. She lowered her scope an inch. "That wasn't a dog. And it wasn't a man." Tango looked pale. "That came from above the cave entrance. Not inside, not behind, above." I hit the mic. "Reaper 2, did you copy that?" Static, then Cowboy's voice, sharp now. "Affirmative, Reaper 1. We all heard it. Gunfire stopped right after. Place just went dead." "You see anything?" "Negative. But something spooked them. The last guy we were chasing dropped his weapon and ran the other way. Didn't even look at us. He was screaming, something in Pashto. Couldn't catch all of it." "What did you hear?" Cowboy hesitated. Something about the White Mountain spirit. Then he screamed, "Karwa! Karwa!" Over and over. Tango leaned over. "That's not a name. It's old. It means the bleeder or the one that tears. Not used anymore." Roach blinked. "How do you even know that?" "I read field linguistics on the flight in. Was bored." The comms crackled again. Cowboy came back on. "Reaper 1, eyes open. We're pushing deeper. We need to find what they were guarding. But stay frosty. I'm requesting you shift to fallback position Charlie if we go dark." I tapped the mic. "Understood. We're holding high ground. Moving to shadow cover and thermal scan." I gave a low hand signal, circle in the air, then finger to lips. My team nodded. Roach flanked left. Ivy shifted her scope toward the upper ridges. Doc moved back slightly to cover our exit. Blitz adjusted the saw, pivoting toward the mouth of the cave. Still no more gunfire. Nothing but wind and memory now. Then Ivy hissed. "Movement, Upper shelf, 9 o'clock. I twisted to her line of sight. At first, I didn't see it. Then it moved again. Just a flicker, too quick for a human. Large, right but wrong. Could be Reaper too? No, it's too high. No one moved that fast. And the angle's off, they'd need ropes. The wind picked up, sharp and metallic, scraping down the mountain like nails on an iron wall. Then another sound, shorter this time, but more brutal. Less a howl, more a burst of agony. Reaper, 2 to Cowboy, we just lost Fletch, came Cowboy's voice, suddenly frantic. He went to check the left wall. Radio cut, no response, no visual, no body. My gut instinct rang tight, the same bad feeling that I had before reaching here. I'd worked with Fletch before. Quiet guy, methodical, didn't make mistakes. Reaper 2, do not split. Group and regroup. Stay in sight lines and keep cover. We're coming to your position. Negative, Cowboy. HQ said you hold position. Screw that order. We're not letting them get picked off. We're coming down the left ridge. These 7 minutes. There was a pause. Then Cowboy said something I didn't expect. You might want to hurry. Then his mic cut out. No static, just dead air. I looked at my team. Everyone up, eyes wide, fingers light. Something's out here, and it ain't just Kalashnikovs and bad breath. Blitz didn't even joke. That was how I knew it was serious. We moved down the slope, slowly, rifles up, staying to the ridgeline. We reached the overlook in formation. Tango brought out the uplink tablet and synced the drone feed. The thermal scans showed no body where Fletch should have been, just warm splashes of blood that were cooling too fast. Reaper 2, this is Reaper. You copy? I said. No response. Cowboy's last words rang in my head. You might want to hurry. I crouched behind a stack of rock, Ivy at my 6, eyes deep in her scope. Doc set down the supply case and readied the medic pack, while Blitz whispered under his breath, rechecking the belt feed in the M249. Roach stayed on overwatch, scanning with NVGs. Ivy, you there? I whispered. What do you see? She didn't answer. Then she breathed, low and sharp. Sir, look at Sector 8. Right ridge line, above the cave mouth. I raised my scope. At first, it looked like a tall man. Maybe 6 feet 5 inches, heavily built, swaying slightly. Then it stepped into the moonlight. It wasn't a man. It had a face, sure, but the proportions were off. The snout was elongated. The head was massive. The chest was too wide for a human and covered in hair that shimmered almost blue-black under the moonlight. Its arms hung long, ending in fingers, longer than any natural predator's, tipped with claws that scraped rock. Its legs bent wrong. Not like a wolf's, but not human either. Is it wearing gear? Blitz whispered. No gear, Ivy replied. That ain't Taliban. That ain't anything. Then she said it. It's got a wolf's head, but its body's like a goddamn linebacker. You in range? Barely, she said. I can take the shot. I looked at her. She didn't blink, didn't hesitate. Send it. The rifle cracked. Suppressed, but still sharp enough to make your guts clench. Her .338 Lapua round whistled into the night and struck square between the thing's glowing eyes. It dropped. Target down, Ivy said. But she didn't let go of the scope. I was about to key the radio when Ivy tensed. Sir, what? It's getting up. I froze. What? It's standing. Headshot confirmed. But it's standing. We watched in disbelief as the thing slowly rose from the gravel. Its head lolled back for a second, then twitched forward like it had just reset itself. It locked eyes with us, even from across the ravine. Then it tilted its snout skyward and let out a sound that felt like it punched the air out of your chest. A deep, layered growl, not a howl. Like something testing its vocal cords. It echoed through the canyon like the devil clearing his throat. What the fuck is that? Blitz muttered. Then it howled not long. Just once, and the valley answered back. From behind ridges, inside the rocks, across the mountain line, howls erupted in different pitches and lengths, like someone hit play on a recording of 100 wolves screaming in agony at once. Every direction, every angle. We were surrounded. Tango whispered, "This is Dog Soldiers meets the Gray Man." "No," Roach said. "This is an American werewolf in Kandahar." "Shut up," Ivy snapped, reloading. I keyed the radio. "Reaper 2, come in. We've made contact with a non-human hostile. I repeat, possible biological anomaly. Something is out here and it's not alone. We are surrounded. Do you copy?" A second passed. Then Cowboy's voice rattled now. "We see them. You're not the only ones." Gunfire erupted over the radio. 3 down. They're fast. Can't track. They move like... I looked at my team. Weapons up. Defensive posture. We find a fallback point and get the hell off this ridge. We are not engaging these things in the open. Blitz adjusted his stance. "What even are they?" Tango answered, "They were something before we got here. Something local. These aren't monsters. They're predators. We just stepped into their feeding zone." I tapped the side of my helmet twice. We didn't come to kill terrorists. We came into their nest. Then something screamed nearby, an inhuman bark of rage, barely 100 meters from us. Doc turned toward it. "Visuals?" I asked. Roach hissed. "Movement. 5 o'clock, behind those granite teeth." Another figure leapt over a boulder like gravity didn't apply, disappearing into shadow. Ivy tried to track it, but it vanished too fast. Blitz squeezed the grip on the M249. "Permission to unleash." "Hold, not until they break cover." The howls continued. It wasn't just noise, it was coordination. Signals, like they were calling out to each other in patterns, surrounding us in rhythm. "Cowboy, do you copy?" His voice came back, shaking. "They took Marcus, dragged him, no blood, just gone. These things don't fight to kill. They hunt, they play." Then we heard it. Heavy footsteps above us. Not hurried, not sneaking. Just confident. Ivy 12 high. She turned her scope up. Another one, taller, broader. Its fur darker, thicker, eyes like hot coals. It looked down at us like we were beneath it, like it was waiting for a reason to leap. Then it smiled, not a snarl, a smile. "I've seen that smile before," Blitz muttered. "Where?" "In Predator, right before it dropped the mask." "Does it bleed?" Roach asked. "Because if it bleeds..." Yeah, we can kill it," I cut him off. But none of us were sure anymore. I tapped the mic. "HQ, this is Reaper 1. We need extraction. This is a code black. Unknown non-human hostiles. Reaper 2 is compromised. Send immediate QRF and air support to grid." I paused. The satellite GPS had reset. "Blitz. Confirm Gs." He looked. "Sir, ours is blank too." "They're jamming us?" "No," Tango said slowly. "Something else. We've lost satellites. Not just signal. There's nothing there. We were cut off. No air support, no evac. Just 6 of us. And a valley full of things that shouldn't exist." "Full magazine check," I ordered. "We hold this line until morning, or until something shows its face." There was no mistaking it anymore. This wasn't some predator or extremist in a bear skin. This was something born of myths, of cursed folklore and midnight campfire lies. The first to die was Husky from Alpha Team. We found his chest cavity ripped open, ribs peeled back like jagged wings. Lying in a pool of his own organs. His M4 beside him, useless. I swallowed down the bile. Jesus, they took him apart. Rain began to drizzle in strands, making the rocks shine like polished bone. The moon was still visible behind heavy clouds, peeking through as if unsure whether to watch. "Move to high ground," I ordered. "Raven, plant the C4 along the ridge here. We'll bait them in." Raven, our calmest guy under pressure, Nodded. Wired and synced. 15-yard wire, remote trigger. Got 2 charges to play with. Aim for a fireworks finale, I muttered. Commander, Blaze whispered, nudging my shoulder. Something's moving in the tree line, a lot of something. I brought up the NVG and scanned the brush. Eyes, dozens, low to the ground, some high in trees. That was when Echo, our sniper, hissed through comms. Multiple hostiles. I see 2, no, for closing in. One of them's dragging something. Looks like Red's body. I clenched my teeth. Engage on my mark. Wait, sir, Echo breathed. One of them, Jesus, it's a female, human face, sort of, half-shifted. There was no more time for words. Fire at will. Hell opened up. Tracer rounds stitched fire into the trees. The first werewolf, massive with matted white fur and cracked black horns, charged like a bull. It ran through Raven's first burst like it was mist. He switched to the M249 saw. Belt-fed, shredded it mid-charge. But it didn't fall. The creature tackled Raven before the second burst finished. We heard the crunch of bones over radio. A scream, then silence. Raven! Blaze yelled. I gritted my teeth and hit the remote. The C4 flared, lighting up the night with a concussive boom. The beast's torso exploded, sending meat and black fur flying. But it was only the first. They swarmed in, climbing the slopes from every side, some crawling on all fours like apes, others upright. One howled and leapt 10 feet through the air, slamming into Coyote. Both tumbled down the slope in a bloody heap. Fall back! I yelled. Use the flames. Blaze lit the foliage with a flare. We'd doused a perimeter of dried bushes earlier. The fire caught quickly. That's when we noticed they paused. The beasts stopped just outside the fire line. They hissed, circled. Sir, Echo said, they don't like fire. I grabbed her shoulder. Say that again. They backed off when I threw the flare earlier. Just now, they won't cross the fire. Blaze, Molotovs, light whatever you can. Blaze was already unpacking them. Homebrewed cocktails from whiskey bottles, soaked in cloth. Looks like John Wick was right, he muttered. Everyone's got a weakness. Even these hairy bastards. We lit and threw 1, 2, 3. A beast caught full in the chest, flames eating through its fur. It shrieked, a high-pitched, human-like wail. It stumbled, clawing at its face, then ran toward the cliff edge, and jumped. Dead or gone, didn't matter. I switched to incendiary rounds, loading fast. Use fire, target the females, they seem slower. They're toying with us, Echo said quietly, playing with their food. There was silence after that for several seconds, until we saw something we'd never forget. A smaller werewolf, long-legged like a spider monkey, approached the fire on all fours. It reached out a hand, burnt as it touched flame, and pulled back with a shriek. Still alive, but confused. I raised my rifle and took the shot. Right through its skull snapped backward and it fell stiff. That's when they rushed us again. Blaze went down next. We saw him dragged across the mud, claws slicing through his flak. He managed to toss a grenade before vanishing into the dark. The blast echoed, but no sign of him after that. Now it was just me, Echo, and Reaper. We circled up on a rock ledge, a burning ridge around us, smoke making the NVGs blind. Strip the goggles. I barked. Use your scopes, thermal only. Reaper clicked his Scar H to semi-auto, scanning the dark through thermal sight. They're circling again. Echo pulled her sidearm, fingers bloody. I'm down to 6 shots. No more sniper rounds. Keep one for yourself, Reaper said quietly. She gave a broken laugh. Shut up, I growled. We're not dying on this rock. Thunder cracked across the valley. Rain was coming in harder now. The fire hissed and spat. They're waiting for it to die out, Echo said. They're smarter than animals. We need to move before that, I said. We stumbled down, skidding through wet rocks, Reaper tossing lit cloth into every dried patch he found, leaving burning trails. One of the beasts lunged from the fog, a hulking female with glowing red scars down her chest. She tackled me. We rolled into the mud. Her breath was acid. Claws raked across my vest. I jammed my combat knife into her throat and twisted. She screamed and thrashed. Reaper tackled her off me and fired 3 times into her face. Her jaw exploded. We kept running. Rain washed most of the fire out, but one beast had tried to leap through a patch still lit. It landed half in flame, rolled screaming, and bolted. Echo saw it. "They fear it," she gasped. "They fear burning. It's not just pain. It's instinct, like cats in water." We reached the last ridge, slick and steep. Below it, Exfil Point. The beacon on my belt pinged green. The chopper was on its way. "Reaper, any C4 left?" "One charge," he said. "And a prayer." "Set it on the slope behind us." He did, wiring it carefully, placing it beneath an overhanging ledge. 2 beasts emerged, one dragging a dead Taliban, the other limping, one arm gone. I raised my rifle and fired. Followed they felt. 3 more emerged behind them. "Now!" I shouted. Reaper hit the trigger. The mountain roared. The ledge cracked and collapsed, burying the remaining beasts in rubble. Dust flew everywhere. Some lived, but others stayed down. Then came the rain, a heavy, hammering storm. Lightning, thunder, and the cries of whatever was left dying beneath rocks. The beasts stopped, backed off, as if the moon was fading behind the storm, and their rage cooled with it. They retreated into the forest, loping on 4 legs, vanishing into darkness like they were never there. We didn't chase. We didn't speak. We just watched. When the chopper arrived, blades chopping the rain into mist, we looked like ghosts. Mud-caked, blood-stained, half-broken. Only 3 of us made it back. Me, Echo, and Reaper. At base, we were met by silence. No fanfare, no questions. HQ classified it. Official record: Taliban ambush, heavy losses, Bravo team wiped, Alpha severely reduced. Terrorist cell destroyed. No further enemy presence. Unofficial record: there are things in those mountains that bleed. But don't die easy. I looked at one of the corpses before we burned it. It had the eyes of a man, but its mouth wasn't made for words. It was made for tearing. That one screwed up mission. The moon was bright, but the truth behind it was darker than war. And I still wonder, were they watching us when we landed? Or did we wake something older than language? We came back alive, but we left something behind in the mountains of Koh-e-Sabz. The nights still haunt me. Whiskey's not enough, seen enough for an eternity. Signing out. If you loved the story, do hit a like, drop a comment, and do subscribe to my channel. More engaging contents shall be here in the future. Thank you very much.